My guest today is Miss Peggy McCall-Robertson, the founder and executive director of the Miracle League of Arkansas, a baseball league that gives disabled children a chance at the camaraderie of team sports while making memories that last their whole family a lifetime. Peggy says the idea for this very special, magical memory bubble called the Miracle Field came one day while sitting in a ballpark proudly watching her own son. At the time, she was working in a clinic for disabled children and had the thought of sharing this proud parent moment by pairing the joy of team sports with disabled children and their often exhausted parents. Inspired by the first Miracle League field built in Georgia, she went to work on her idea and found the perfect business partner, Little Rock Rotary Club 99. In the spring of 2005, the Miracle League program of Arkansas was opened. Since then, hundreds of families, volunteers, and challenged children have experienced the magic of what Peggy calls the greatest game on turf. It is with great pleasure I welcome to the table the dreamer, the doer, the woman with a wide, wide heart, founder and executive director of the Miracle League of Arkansas, Miss Peggy McCall-Robertson.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Peggy, I've known you. I'll just tell our listeners, I've known you before. I haven't seen you in years, and you've gotten married.
I have.
I know. Congratulations.
Yes.
No more Peggy McCall. And you took his name.
Yes.
My goodness.
Proud of it.
Well, good for you.
That's good.
Yes.
Let's talk about where you grew up. I didn't realize you weren't from Arkansas. I'm always amazed at how many of my guests come from afar, move here, become highly successful in Arkansas. It's not a place you probably thought when you were growing up, I think I'll move to Arkansas. So tell us how you ended up in Arkansas.
So I grew up in Illinois. I grew up in Colchester, Illinois, a little farm town, literally in cornfields. And we had 600.
What's the name of it?
Colchester, C-O-L, Chester.
Okay.
Early years, it was Colchester, but they dropped the E. There was a lot of coal mining in the area. So grew up in a small town. My class was like 32 people, 600 in town. So everybody knew your business. They were all up in your business all the time. And so it was a great place to grow up. You know, I was a typical kid, loved my bicycle. That was my transportation. I'd ride to the next town, which was the big town, you know, it had a small college in it. And it was great. It was just easy.
What's your dad do? Was he a coal miner?
No, he worked as a body man when I was young.
What's a body man? Like a body mechanic?
Yes, and fix your car, dents and paint. And he was in the paint booth a lot, and I could always know when he got home. I could smell that smell. And when I smell it now, it takes me right back there because I love the smell of that paint.
So you have, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have a sister. She was 5 years old.
Did you play baseball?
No, no. I played softball once. My glove was so small. I was the catcher. The ball didn't fit, and so I was horrible at it. But that's okay. Yeah, I played, was on a team, and did what I could.
You don't seem small to me. Are you small?
No, my glove was small.
Oh,
you're right. I am not small. You've got that one.
And so your father died at an early age.
He did. I was 16.
I bet that was a big learning lesson for you. Is that what made you want to go into service work?
No. In fact, it's surprising I did. You know how the preacher comes over your house after the funeral and everybody brings all that food? He told me I must have done something really bad.
The preacher told you that?
That's why my father died.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh, what a punk.
And I said, maybe my sister.
Oh.
Because she was older and she was always doing everything that my parents told her not to do. She was my good teacher because I saw the consequence or the reaction. So I always just did the opposite, which saved me a lot of grace, you know. So, but yeah. And then amazingly, I worked in the church for 20 years, which doesn't make any sense after what he did. You know, it just doesn't make sense. But I guess at that time I was determined to, people see youth and children, but all people, but youth and children are so impressionable. And it was important to me that that people that they would look up to would not say stupid things
Yeah.
that have such a profound impact
Mhm.
on them and could steer you in all kinds of ways, many of which would be running the other way,
Mhm.
you know. And typically as a teenager, that would be the case. So I don't know. I just like kids. I like kids better than adults.
Well,
And I'll take a disabled kid over anybody before because the players at our ballpark, they are just the most humbling and real. And we don't have many filters. We do have to use manners, and they'll get checked on that if they don't. But they don't have any ill intent in what they say. So,
I mean, you're right. It is so impressionable because how many years ago was it that preacher said that to you and it still upsets you? How many years ago was that?
59.
60 years ago, and it still hangs with you. So on the flip side of that, 60 years from now, those kids that you're working with are going to still have the positive effect of what you've done for them. So how'd you end up coming to Little Rock?
Fell in love, got married, moved to Arkansas.
It's always a man or a woman.
It is frequently marriage.
Or
If
college.
it's not a job, it's school. And if it's not school, it's love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is he? See, you're not still
Gone.
married because you're
He's
newly
gone.
married. But you stayed.
I did stay. Yeah.
Why did you stay in Arkansas? What made you like it?
Why do you go? Well, what am I going to do in a town of 600?
Well, that's right.
Mhm.
You know? And so, we were here for a long time and, just it became my home, So, yeah.
So what job did you do before you were the executive director of the Miracle League?
So I worked in the Methodist Church for almost 20 years in Springdale, Rogers, and Little Rock. And then I went into retail, and cosmetics, which is quite funny if you really know me. That is the last thing in the world I'm concerned about. And so, but it was a way for me to take care of bills and live at that period of time. Went to work for the Gap, and we did a mission project with Habitat one period. And I was like, I got to get back to service work. My soul wasn't filled.
So when you were at the church, was it service work with kids?
Junior and senior high.
Junior and senior high.
Yep.
And were you like the youth leader?
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough job.
Mhm.
I don't like junior high kids. I love kids, but I don't like junior high kids.
You know, the
Same.
greatest thing I found with any kid, junior and senior high age, is that get them out of their comfort zone.
Really?
So in Little Rock, we were taking a summer trip. We were going to the beach. The kids were all excited. I had the parents and I got together and we decided that we were going to the beach, but we were not going to a condo. We went camping.
Mhm.
So we got the vans loaded and everything without the kids knowing we were camping. And so we roll up and we get to the beach and they're like all excited and stuff. And because they didn't see all the gear. We gotten all that in there so they didn't see it. And so we get out and they think we're going across the street. I said, well, yeah, let's go across the street for a little while. So they go to the beach and stuff. That's the first time I've ever been to a beach.
Oh, really?
And so then we come back across the street and I said, okay, let's unload. They're like, what? What? I'm calling my mom. I said, your parents know.
Yeah. Oh, I love
It
that.
was so fun because they had to work together.
Yeah.
They were uncomfortable. So they got in a different mindset and the conversations were so much different. I can't imagine being a youth worker with the phones.
Mhm.
I mean, I would have to
Oh.
check those things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's just too much. You never really interact with people if it's that
I
way.
can't imagine camping with sand in your bed.
Oh, it was fine. They had a blast.
Yeah, but me, I wouldn't have. I'd have been like,
Hey, 20, 30 years ago, you've been just fine.
And you're right. You're exactly right.
I did a trip just like that after Katrina in like 2005 or 6. And it was a relief trip. We all went down and
Oh,
like helped
cool.
distribute stuff to a local community in South Mississippi, I think.
Mhm.
And it was like right on the beach, and we all had to camp. And
You
we went with parents. Yeah, and
did I sign the permission slip?
apparently
for that?
yes. But it was funny because we were all like exhausted, and it was crazy, and it was a fun learning experience. But yes, all of the moms who had to chaperone were like, "Okay, I think I'm ready to go back to my bed now, please. I don't want to shower in a booth anymore. Yeah, out of a barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun though.
It is.
It was a great learning experience, and I mean, I still remember a lot of it.
Yeah, lasting memories.
Oh yeah.
If you get out of your comfort zone.
I
Yeah.
think people that take care of kids like you did, Peggy, have a jewel in their crown in heaven. I cannot imagine taking a bunch of 8th graders to the beach.
I never lost one.
Well, that's good.
That's a good thing.
Well, that's good.
We had a system when I'd take them to New York and DC, like a state thing. They all had a number. I'd get at the front of the bus and say, number off. And we knew if someone wasn't on their bus.
That's a good idea.
Perfect.
And on the vans, number off, sound off. Let's see.
Roll call.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you moved to you worked in both Methodist Church. Is that what you said? Methodist churches in Springdale and Little Rock. Then you came back here and you started working for Kids
Source.
What is that?
It's a therapy clinic in Benton, and they provide services.
So you left the Gap, you left the church, you left the Gap, you went to Kids Source, and Kids Source was for disabled children.
Yes.
Did you have any education in that?
No.
Isn't that nice?
It's nice that my family's accept me without that.
Experience is so much better than
Often.
academic learning. If you've been experiencing it and doing it, you obviously love it. Whereas a lot of people make a decision to go into school, go into school if they want to go into, teaching or whatever, and then they find out they really don't like it. So you loved it from day one. Today, could somebody do that without an education, without a degree?
Sure. It's
can
called
they?
Passion.
But would the United Methodist Church hire you today if you didn't have a degree?
Oh, you're talking about the church?
I'm talking about them. Yeah, I'm talking about.
I think so.
You do.
I do. Yeah.
In service work, there's always a need for hands and hearts,
Can
and
you
so
work- yeah.
you're gonna always need somebody, even if they don't have the degree.
Can you work in Kids Source therapy without a degree in physical therapy?
No,
But you were.
but I didn't do therapy.
What'd you do?
I went around and made sure I was the person that made sure all the doctors got their scripts back in.
Oh, clerical.
And because if the scripts don't get returned and signed, the kids don't get therapy, and the doctors get busy, and they can slip between the cracks and things.
Oh, I see.
And so the therapist would always do the testing and all that stuff, and write up the plan for that child, and then the doctor would sign off. And so I was just clerical. But we also started a nonprofit there.
What was that?
And that's when I went one Monday and said, hey, let's, we didn't really have anything to hang our hat on. We were doing a thing called Creative Spaces. And so we would go into a child's room, a client's room, or a space in their house and make their house work better for them.
Oh.
So say you have a bathroom and you have a cabinet sink and you're in a wheelchair. That's not good.
Oh.
You can't get up to it. So you change that out or make things so they could be more independent within their home. And then I went and after the ball game, I was like, I went to work. I said, hey, we need to start a ball program. Parents need to have the same memories I do. And they're like, what? And I said, no, I think it'll work. They were like, well, okay, take off. Let's go see what you can do.
And they're like, hey, secretary, get back to your desk. So tell our listeners how you were sitting at the ballpark one day and you just had this revelation. I read about it some, but tell us how it happened.
Well, my son grew up playing Little League and in Northwest Arkansas and Central Arkansas, and he was playing kickball. In mid-20s, playing kickball. That league's huge in this area. And so I went to a game one day, still showing up and watching my kid play ball. And another lady there, we realized our kids played Little League together. And we started reminiscing about that. And then when I drove out of that ballpark, I thought, man, the parents at Kids Source need to have the same memories I do. And that's when I went to work. I thought about football. No, don't know anything about soccer. And so I just felt like baseball would be the easiest.
And you were really focused on almost the parents more than the kids.
Oh, yeah. Well, I knew the kids were going to be winners. That's a given.
Mm-hmm.
That's a given. That, they're
Their
going to
heart's
get
going to be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you go back and you tell your people, and they're like, yeah, you're crazy. So you had never heard of the Miracle League?
No, I had not.
So you started Googling it? Or
Nope.
did they even have
No.
Google back 20 years ago? I don't know.
I mean, I didn't use that tool. No, I went to Mayor Daley at the time, and I said, hey, I've got this idea. And he goes, what do you want? What do you got? And I said, I want to do a baseball program. It's for disabled kids and adults. And so I need some land. I'm not buying land. I said, you've got land we can use, but do not put us way out nowhere, because our parents it's struggle enough to get their gear, wheelchair, walker, whatever, slow moving gear, all in and tucked right. So give me a place and he goes, I've heard something about a Miracle League. I said, well, who is it? And he goes, I don't remember. I said, well, when you figure that out, let me know, because I'm doing it. So we need to work together. That's when the Rotary Club 99 came in.
Did he said he heard something about the Miracle League.
Yeah. Someone wanted to do it in town.
Did you go in and call it a Miracle
No.
League?
Mm-mm.
He just happened to know that there was something called a Miracle
Mhm,
League one
mhm,
time.
mhm.
And
Because he had heard about it in town. So Club 99 wanted to do a centennial gift to the city. And they had gone and seen a field.
oh,
And so they had that already churning within the club.
what?
And so,
This timing is godly.
well, yeah, if you get out of your way, it works out.
It does.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah. So finally I found them, and I was like, I'm doing this. We need to team up.
Yeah.
Yep, get on my team, because I need your team kind of thing.
Did you know Mayor Daley?
No.
So you just go in and make an appointment with the mayor, and he sees this crazy lady that says, I have a dream. And he says, I just happen to know about this.
Mm-hmm.
How long from when you were sitting in the ballpark till you saw Daley?
That was within the same year, within weeks. Yeah.
You were just wound up about it,
Oh, yeah.
like a dog with a bone.
Have you ever done?
I get that way.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I
The
was
story
gonna
of
say.
mom's life. Yeah.
I get that way.
Dog with
I
a bone.
totally relate to
Yeah.
this. I get a
Mhm.
dream. I mean, you must be a big dreamer.
I think I'm a lot more realistic than I used to be.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I just get these dreams and I start going crazy about them. And the next thing you know, I bought the Taborian Hall with a big hole in the roof in downtown Little Rock. And
Right.
Mhm.
So I totally get it. So did you go to Georgia?
I went to Birmingham.
Oh, is there one in Alabama too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so how many Miracle Leagues are there?
Well, I don't really know, because they've said 300 forever. So I don't know.
Mhm.
You mean
Yeah.
even when you started 20 years ago, they said 300?
Nice.
And I know that there's several chapters that have left, or, done different things. And there's other things out there that are similar. They just don't have that name. So, people out there hearing and listening to this, if you've not been to a Miracle League and you live someplace else, there are other chapters. Just Google up baseball for disabled people, kids.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you go to it, one in Birmingham, Alabama,
Mhm.
and you think, oh my gosh, this is the vision I had. Or what did you think?
I sat there and analyzed, like, their graphics on the wall. That wasn't my thing. Their turf, I wasn't sure about it, because it was a carpet type turf.
You have to have special turf.
Mm-hmm. And so we came back and we did tiles.
What does that mean?
It's our original field was about the size of a big coffee can, and recycled tires
Mhm.
crushed into a shape.
Mhm. And they're like the rubber mat kind of things. Yeah.
And 2 inches thick
Uh-huh.
for fall zone.
They make playgrounds out of this now.
What's the same thing that's in the gym when you go work out and you drop your weights on it?
Yes,
Mhm.
but thicker. And
Mhm.
so we had those.
Cool.
And I love that tile. And when we went through the flood, which is another...
We're going to get to that story.
Okay. Yeah, it's a doozy. It's a doozy. So anyway, we started playing in fall of 2006. So
All right.
Rotary Club raised the money
Did
and
it all.
built the field, and then handed it over. Mark Davis and I, we had a little push and pull, because I was like so gung-ho, and he goes, now, pal, this is how we're doing it.
Pal. That's what he calls you? Pal. That's not a word I'd use on you, but okay.
I think he calls lots of people pal.
He must.
It's his thing.
Yeah. All right. This is a great place to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Miss Peggy McCall-Robertson, founder, executive director of the Miracle League of Arkansas. Up next, building the field, obstacles they had to overcome, and then we'll tell you about the flood of 2019. We'll be right back.
Do you have something to say? Say it in flying colors. I'm Megan McCoy, and my family owns and operates flagandbanner.com. We believe that flags tell a story and banners make an impression. Whether it's for your business, organization, or special event, custom flags and banners will make your message soar. Visit flagandbanner.com for high-quality products and quick turnaround. We're not just any flag company. We're the experts that answer the phone.
We're speaking today with Miss Peggy McCall-Robertson, the woman behind and out front of the Miracle League of Arkansas, a baseball field and a league for children with disabilities. Before the break, we talked about Peggy's dad, and she got a little choked up. It was sweet, very sweet.
Well,
just shows how us adults have huge impacts on children, and we need to watch what we do and say.
Yeah, that's that for you. Sitting here with your
At least
child,
she
your 40-year-old
recognizes
child.
it.
Yeah.
My kids are all scarred.
Not so scarred that we didn't all come back to work here, I guess.
I was going to say, that's what I was thinking.
So, and then we also talked about the dream she had about the Miracle Field. Went to daily, stepped out of her comfort zone. I mean, and she said something I really love. You just get out of the way, get your dreams and get out of the way, and things will work out. I love that. So the dreams are taking shape. Mayor Daley gave you the parking lot at Junior Deputy.
Yes.
Which is a perfect place.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
shockingly perfect. Whose
Yeah.
parking lot was that?
It was junior deputies.
And they were like, that's okay, take it.
I don't know that it went down quite like that.
I mean, how did he get to do that?
Because that's a city park. That's all a city park.
Oh, it is.
So he's in charge, the
I
city's
didn't
in
know
charge.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was perfect then. So
Yeah.
so now you're next to each other.
Mhm.
And then the Rotary Club's going to give you this. You found out about the Miracle League through the Rotary Club and the Centennial Gift. So it's time to break ground. How long did it take you from deciding on it till you decided to break ground? A year of planning? What was
Oh,
it?
no. It took us, I think it took the Rotary about 4 years to raise the funds. And I kind of got in the mix in 2005, 4, 5. And we started playing fall of 06.
Yeah, I read 5. One time I read 2005. One time I read 2006. It's like when people ask me, when did I renovate the Taborian Hall? I'm 1990, 1991. I can't remember. I can't remember. It's too long ago. Kind of meshes together.
Well, our first games was fall of 2006.
For sure.
So, yeah. Yeah.
I know that was scary.
Well, it was very interesting because I didn't know what in the world I was doing.
I know. That's the way it
And
always
so
is.
I asked some of the parents at the clinic who I knew pretty well. I said, can you guys come to the ballpark the week before? And they're like, okay. I said, I need to practice. I need to figure out what we're doing.
What are the rules for baseball? No, I'm just kidding.
Our rules are different.
I bet.
We have 3. So
What
anyway,
are they?
everyone has fun, no one gets hurt, and there's no judgment.
Oh, those are good rules.
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
So they're coming.
So the kids come out and we play this little game and kind of get a feel for how like the walkers and everything are going to react to the turf and how long it's going to take, et cetera, et cetera. And there's this little girl and her name's Cassie, and she had these little round face and these little tiny pigtails up here. So cute, so sweet. And she came out and played with several other kids at the clinic. So got ready for the next week for our game, and Cassie came, or she didn't come. She'd gone into the hospital.
Oh.
And so we were like, okay, she'll be out soon. The sad story with that is after our season, I took her trophy over to her, and she passed away like 2 days later.
Oh.
And
Now I'm going to cry.
so,
This is going to be a tearjerker.
Y'all keep it together at this table.
but Mark Davis was like, it's just a game. He was going, it's not a big deal, Peggy. You're overworking this. And I'm glad he said that because I do that.
You mean
know?
you mean the opening day?
Or just that practice game.
Yeah.
Like they're just
It's
going
like
to
dress rehearsal
yeah,
or something.
Yeah. And he goes, it's going to be okay. I said, I know it will, but I just want to see. That day on our practice game, I said, you just never know when it will be someone's last game.
Oh, God.
There you go.
And then,
Yeah.
So we have a
So
memorial.
he had to eat his words, didn't he?
No.
Yeah, I like that.
No. But it's, it's just a fact. You just don't know. And so from there, we started a memorial garden, Angels in the Outfield.
Oh, no, you did? I didn't read about that. Where's that?
It's at the ball field down third baseline. There's a little piece of grass back there with a crepe myrtle in it and a stone bench that says Angels in the Outfield. So that's our little memorial
Nice.
sweet
You
space.
put their names in there?
Mm-hmm, I do. We put their name, their birth date, and death date.
Is it on the ground or is it on a plaque?
We do it on, we use bricks
bricks.
and etch them and stick them to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
We probably have a dozen.
That's
14.
not very many for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. One of my players every season, he's in the AAA league. He goes out to the wall and takes a look because he knows many of the people because they've been players or coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, one year he said, Miss Peggy, are we going to put your name on the wall? I said, well, I hope so.
Not anytime soon.
Maybe just not now. Yeah.
I said, I hope so. And he said, because I tell him all the time, be sweet. Like if I sense a little something elevating, I'll go, now be sweet. And I said, when I die, if you guys put that on there, make sure my brick says be sweet.
Oh.
And he started laughing. I said, so every year when you can come out here and take a look, see if there's additions, you'll be reminded that I told you thousands of times, be sweet. So
That's cute.
So how was opening day?
it was fabulous.
Describe it.
Oh, I couldn't sleep the night before. It was like a kid, Christmas Eve. And I still get that way before opening day after all these years. The night before, I just can't get any sleep. I'm so excited to see everyone again and watching. I mean, some of these players are still playing that were there opening day.
Really?
Yes.
So they're 20 years old. They're 25 years old.
30.
30 years old. So are they volunteers now that help the other kids, or they're still running the bases?
Playing.
They're still running the bases. That's cute. Are there national standards that you have to go by for these? No. It's just build a miracle field and let the kids have a good time. Yeah. So how many volunteers does it take?
Yeah. For us to execute games.
One game.
One day.
One day.
Of games.
Going 3 fields.
Mm-hmm.
It takes how many people?
It can take, 450
volunteers?
Hours.
A lot. How many people is that?
It depends.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, like Northwest Arkansas they try to get 50.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about hours, 450 volunteer hours. So, okay, yes, we can divide that to figure out. So how many people is that?
Mom's like, you're coordinating 500 people?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, whoa.
No.
I've only got 45 employees and I can't do it.
So that's 50 plus the core team, my volunteer staff in Northwest. Here we need about 25 because we have one field.
Per game?
Mm-hmm.
Or per season?
Per game.
Per game. And how many players are there per game?
Depends. Right now in Little Rock and Northwest Arkansas, our teams are really big. We have 10, 11, 12 kids on a team, and that's a lot when you get on our field because you have a buddy with them because every player has a buddy.
Every player has a buddy.
And their parents sit in the stands. Parents and kids need to break from each other.
Dude, no, I was just about to say, I like that they have a buddy that's not their parent.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did get over that during COVID. I had to.
Sure. People who share space need to stay together, all that stuff.
Yeah. But we're past that, and we have got all these people that come out. We have the most amazing buddy volunteers under the sun.
It's so rewarding.
And it's not icky. That's there's so many things that our players teach the volunteers out there. It just they're the best teachers. So
yeah, I mean, you learn more from kids than from adults because they're so openly honest,
and that's real prevalent.
I love this quote you wrote. We've got 3 hooks: a kid, a baseball, and an underdog. And the thing about underdogs is you can only go up from where you are.
Mm-hmm.
I love that quote of yours. So you've
Yes.
already mentioned the 3 rules. No judgment.
Everyone has fun.
Everyone has fun.
No one gets hurt.
No one gets hurt. So you got to, they've all got different, I mean, some of them are blind. Some of them are in wheelchairs. I mean, how do you get, so is the goal to get them to go from base to base,
Sure.
to go all the way around?
Sure.
And so when it's their turn, your job is to go all the way around. How do you modify it for each of their disability?
Well, first of all, the biggest thing is they're just a kid.
Okay.
Start there.
Mm-hmm.
All of our kids have a disability. I know what some of them, I know what all of them are, but that's not even a factor. Now, the blind piece, you know, we got to make sure we get our equipment out for that. But we have real cool equipment. They're just kids.
So you tell them to run to a shape or?
Well, here's some learning curves in the early days.
Okay.
We put a number on the back of their shirt. That's failure.
Why would you do that?
Well, because you have numbers on the back of your jerseys,
Oh,
right?
I see.
Well, that doesn't work with us. Hey, number 1, stop.
Oh.
No.
Nobody knew who it was because it's on the back of their shirt.
Well, the child didn't know who number 1
Oh.
was.
Yeah.
Whoops.
that's
So
amazing.
that doesn't work. So, but no, the way we do it is when the kids come in, when the players come in to the dugout, we ask them if they want a boy or a girl. And so they get to choose because I want them to have control of their game.
Okay.
And if it's like a baseball team from Harding coming out, well, the girls are a little slim that day. They'll have to be flexible. So they team up and then they go in the field and they start playing catch or rolling the ball or whatever. Some of the players just start running and we have gates and we put bungees on them. And new parents are like, oh, I got to stay with them. I said, relax. It's okay.
It's really more of a playground almost with bases and volunteers on each person because there's not an organized actual hit the ball.
Oh, yes, there is.
Oh, there is. That's what I'm wondering. How do you do that?
Once we get everybody buddied up, the way we decide who's up first is what team has the most players in the field.
Nice.
Because they're already there.
They've just run out there.
So they're out there and the other team gets to the dugout and we start pitching and we live pitch to them.
Who's pitching? A volunteer?
We've got a guy named Tony Jenkins. He comes from Malvern, has since day 1.
And he pitches to him.
And he's still coming.
And then the buddy, which helps
the player do whatever they can.
And then they run the bases.
And they go to first base.
And if they want color or shape?
It's white and it's a square. That was another learning curve. We said run to the base. Well, they don't understand what that is. So we go run to the white square. That's first base. Run to that white square. That's second base. So they start learning. And so the players advance 1 base at a time.
Okay.
And the last person up to bat hits the home run. Now, that ball might drop right here in front of the plate, but it's a big deal. And so there's a lot of cheering and we clear the bases. And then the next team gets up to bat. Same thing goes on. We play only 1 hour. There are no practices. Between therapy schedules and sibling schedules, it's just, too much and not going to happen probably.
And some of them don't even want to go out on the field. They're intimidated probably.
Well, here's some stories. There's a player 4 seasons ago. He and his dad walked into the dugout. He's precious little Downs boy. And he's on his dad's hip. He won't give me eye contact at all, hides from me in his dad's neck every time I'd walk by. So that's how he played the whole first game, or the whole first season, 7 games, in the dugout on his dad's hip. You know what? That's okay. That's where he is. That's where he is in the what's happening.
Yeah.
Next season comes along and he's giving me eye contact. I'm going, I'm breaking in now. And, we'd go talk to him and we'd walk toward the home plate. And he'd go, not doing it. He wasn't going there. 3rd season, he finally goes to the home plate, walks out there on his own. So he's been there now 15 times. He's decided this is okay. Goes to the plate. Pitcher rolls. He won't touch a bat. Pitcher rolls the ball to him. He grabs the ball and runs the bases and home run. You know what? Yay!
Yeah, that's
he
awesome.
he did it
That's
all.
awesome.
You know.
Yeah.
So, and we get that excited about it, and then some.
Excited about
I know
it,
it, right?
yeah.
So, I'm hoping this season maybe he'll touch bat. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what? He may or he may not. And if he doesn't, it's okay.
He's
because
probably going to be one of those lifers at 35 that's still coming down there.
I guarantee you.
You do have lifers, don't you?
Yeah, we do. In volunteers and players.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people that say they want to come and volunteer, I said, or coach, I said, I want you to think long and hard about it.
Mhm.
Think about 5 and 10 years out, what's going to be going on in your life, because you may end up here this long.
You
Because
get addicted.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
get addicted.
Yeah. It's just so innocent. It's just so wonderful
It's
and
beautiful.
magic. And there's a blanket of grace. Woo. That
It's hard to find in any other aspect of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Mhm.
grace piece is that we've had so many near ball hits or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Never happens. Only once in all this time.
Really?
Well, only twice.
Really?
Mila got it one night in AA on a Friday night. We play Friday nights now too,
Nice.
under the lights, which is way cool. And then I got one last week.
Oh.
You did. Your
You
first
did?
one.
My
Good for
first
you,
one.
girl.
Right in the mouth.
In the mouth.
And the player's eyes went, "Rah!"
Well, you still got your teeth.
Yeah.
That's good to
Yeah.
see. All right, this is a great place to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Miss Peggy McCall-Robertson, founder and executive director of the Miracle League of Arkansas. Still to come, the visitors, the volunteers, and how you can find out more and maybe get involved. We'll be right back.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Got ourselves a flag violation. Stop right there.
Who are you?
We're the flag police.
And this is a crime scene.
Excuse me?
I think what my partner's trying to say is that your flag looks a little tired. I think it's time for a new one.
Oh, I guess you're right. It is a little tattered.
Don't worry, ma'am. Flagandbanner.com is here to help. With their wide selection and knowledgeable staff, they'll have you sorted out in no time. Flagandbanner.com. We're the experts.
We're speaking today with Miss Peggy McCall-Robertson, the woman behind and out front of the Miracle League of Arkansas, a baseball field and league for children with disabilities. If you're just coming on the show, go back and listen. It's good. She cried the first time. I almost cried the second time. It's talking about kids and family.
I'm going to say it again. Keep it together at the table, y'all.
Mhm.
Keep it together.
You can't control passion.
That's true. Look,
Oh my God! She had another one she said a minute ago.
can't argue with
I
that.
was gonna write it down. She said another one earlier.
Guess we'll have
that
to
was
go back
really
and listen.
good. So, how has your fabulous organization grown? 20 years ago,
Mhm.
it was one little field with how
Mhm.
many players?
First season was 42 players.
How many? Here we are, 20 seasons later.
We've had thousands of kids. We're probably at 3,500.
And you've
Kids come through.
grown to Springdale. Are you crazy?
No,
No.
no, I'm not
No.
crazy. What are you
Are
saying?
you running
Carrie?
that one, or did you hire or somebody else running
No.
that? Somebody else is running it.
Some volunteers.
Oh, so it's still under your umbrella.
So Northwest Arkansas, I used to be a church youth director up there in
Oh, that's
Northwest
right, Springdale
and
Mhm.
Rogers.
So you have people.
And so I got bored and I was like, I need to start another field. So I had a player that would drive from Siloam Springs to Little Rock,
Oh,
4 hours one way for an hour game.
Mm.
And
Oh.
she said, Miss Peggy, would you build me a field? And I was like, Mackenzie, I'm going to do that one of these days. So in 2008 and a half, 2009, fall of 2008, no, spring of 2009, we decided to build a field in Northwest. So I went to the mayor, asked for dirt, caught up with 2 kids that were in my youth group. They were 16. I was 22 back then, but they're in their 30s and I'm in
Yeah.
my 40s. And I was like, you want to get a beer or a Coke? I've got an idea.
Love that.
No more Kool-Aid for you. Let's get a beer.
Or a Coke.
Or Coke.
And so caught up with the 2 guys, and one, he was a bandy, and it was so funny. He goes, I know I owe you, because the kids used to always pick on him. And I said, I believe you do. And so he was like, I'm in. And so another guy was too. And so Brian and Blake and I, in 17 months, raised $710,000
Jiminy.
and built the field. And we were a month out, and we had enough money to do everything except cover one field in the tile. And so one of those guys said, well, we'll just wait until we get the money. I said, you know what? We're not coming out of the gate, not complete. And I said, because I will never give a person a chance to say, oh, those poor, pitiful, disabled kids.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't raise the money for them to have their fields complete.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would check in with a gentleman that had given us $100,000 every once in a while. And he'd call me up and say, how are things going? Da-da-da. And so I was just checking in with him. I said, Mr. Gerald, I said, we're about a month out. We are closing in. He goes, so how's it going? I said, well, dang, I'm $200,000 short, but I'm going to find it because that's what we need to finish that second. And I told him the story about, what they had said. And he goes, you know what, Peggy? I'll give you $100,000 if you get it matched. I said, get your checkbook out. I'll be back in touch. In a week, the three of us found $100,000 and got it matched.
I want to cry again. It's a great story.
It is a great
I mean, I'm telling you, he was a Rotarian also.
Mm-hmm.
That Rotary Club wasn't involved like Club 99, but they were very involved. They still are. And so when I get out of my way, things start happening.
Mm-hmm.
Never happens on my time frame. Never happens on my time frame.
Yeah.
And so once you get settled into that, good things can start happening. So we started playing in 2010 there, fall of 2010.
So that's been, so you were only 5 years in at the other place, or 4, and you opened up another one, and now you're 15 years in on that one. So you've got a great legacy.
And I want to build one more.
Where?
Batesville.
Really?
Yep.
Lions College.
Yep. The reason for that is we have players that drive from Heber Springs and Batesville. Our parents will drive easy an hour, hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So the population is there. The industry is there that could support Batesville. You should do a story on Batesville.
Really?
There are so many hidden treasures in that area. It's amazing. Truly amazing.
They have a hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they probably have, they have disability children up there that everywhere, I guess.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to have a kid drive from Locust Grove, and that's between Batesville and Concord. So, it's just our players are everywhere,
Do you have to go to every game?
I have only missed one.
In 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
So outside of raising all this money, you go to every game?
I work every game.
You work every game?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is it work to do in the middle of the week when you're not? So in the middle of the week, you're raising money or checking with parents, or what? Describe a day for you.
It is, and it's very cycled. We get gearing up for ball season. You come out of ball season, you got your fundraiser. Right now, we got a fundraiser and ball season kind of sandwiched together. A lot of times our parents will be in the hospital, and especially my players in Little Rock, the ones that I know, I'm like, if you need a break, even if they're just sleeping, I can go up there and sit. And if they wake up, they'd at least know who I was. If you need to get out of the hospital, just holler at me.
You do that very much?
Some, not as much as I'd like to.
You'd like to do that more?
Well, I know the parents need a break.
I don't like being in a hospital, though.
Hey, they're going to get better.
I told you she had a wide, wide heart.
They're going to get better.
So are buddies, when they first come, the volunteers, scared at first?
I think most people are apprehensive because they've not been in that environment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ashamed to say I haven't been there, and it's close to my house. I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
You got to come out.
Yeah, we should both go.
Yeah, let's
we can
do
watch
it.
We can go watch a game.
Yeah.
Gray's got a wide, wide heart, too.
All right, don't start. Not my interview.
He'll start tearing up.
No,
Table's going to turn.
I will not.
No, he doesn't cry. He didn't even cry as a child. Ball players, you have professional ball players?
Sometimes, yeah.
What do they think about all that?
They love it.
Do they come to visit the kids and go, oh my gosh?
Yeah, we used to do a fundraiser based around some of the pro baseball players that I'm associated with, with the Derek that I help.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but the really great fun people, ball player wise, is like the college students that come out. Harding University. Those boys are amazing. They're so
Really?
good. They're so good. And in Northwest Arkansas, the softball girls come out, which are
Oh.
so much fun.
I bet.
And
That's
they're-
great volunteer work for them.
yes, yeah. And they're still a kid, but they're not, and there's
Mhm.
that, they still have fun and can horse around.
Mhm.
I think UALR has a big baseball program.
Yes, they do. And Coach Curry's a huge fan of us.
Oh,
yeah,
that's wonderful.
he's wonderful.
So I told our listeners that I would get back to the flood of 2019. Tell us what happened.
Well, let's go back to the buddies first.
Oh, okay.
So you asked if they, I think that everyone's
Nervous.
nervous or unaware or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? It's easy. You assist and protect. That's all you got to do.
Mhm.
And you help them do whatever they can't. And if you have a nonverbal person, you ask them yes and no questions. And they look up for a yes and down for a no, or tone out of their voice is higher is yes, lower is no.
Interesting.
This is yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you can quickly communicate. We have this thing called a knot block that some folks in Jonesboro made for us. And for the kids that are tight, cerebral palsies, don't know trunk rotation for whatever reason, we put it on a tee, we set it up. There's a button that beeps and blinks. And so the player touches that, and this the bat whips around and hits the ball.
Oh, nice.
And it is as thrilling as if they did it themselves. Jacqueline will rear up almost out of her chair. She is so excited. And her favorite buddy is this dude named Cool from Windsor Door. And he wasn't there when she showed up last season. And she was visibly upset
Oh.
and almost in tears. And I text somebody and said, "Where is he?"
Yeah.
He came back.
Oh, good.
And so as soon as she saw him, it was over. But the volunteers you learn so much from our players.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all different, just like everybody else in the world. So, and, back to, you would think that I would do this for the players, but I knew they were winners, and I did it for the parents. I think the real winner in our program are the volunteers.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah, because you can't fault someone for not understanding until they've had an experience, especially in this bubble.
Mhm.
And so once you have the experience, you can then in school feel comfortable giving someone in a wheelchair or walker eye
Mhm.
contact,
Mhm.
or the classic lunchroom story, the new kid is sitting
Oh,
over here.
mhm.
Somebody finally comes over. Well, somebody came out to the ballpark one Saturday and volunteered. And the buddy said, "I think I know that kid. They went to school together."
Mm.
So they buddied. The magic started. In 3 weeks, my player came back and said, "Miss Peggy, you're not going to believe this." I said, "What?" He goes, "I sat at the jocks table in the cafeteria."
Oh.
I said, "You need to tell all the jocks to come out to your ball game."
Mhm. Mhm.
So, but that's the magic out there.
Connection. Human connection.
Yep.
Mhm.
You can't.
Yep.
There's no.
And
There's no
understanding.
Yeah.
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 But it's not all a bed of roses.
No.
2019, the
Mhm.
big flood of 2019 in Little Rock.
Yeah.
What'd you do? Flooded your field. And then you had COVID 2 years later
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
1 year later.
Yeah.
How'd you get through all of that?
Passion. You just do it.
So did it ruin the ball field?
Mm-hmm. Well, so we never got rain. Our water that came to the field never came from the river side.
Oh, it didn't rise up and cover it.
Mm-mm.
Where'd it come? The drainage ditch.
Yep.
Oh.
And so we put down sandbags, 3 days of that, and it came through the drainage ditch, came across that little 1-lane bridge. I'd go every day, twice a day, and see how it was rising. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And then it happened. And we had like 3 foot. We got stuff out of the shed.
Mhm. So all the equipment wasn't
Yeah.
ruined, but
Yeah. And we had 3 foot in there. And junior deputy has like their lime and their grass seed and all that stuff over there. That thing was so foul. I don't have a nose.
Oh.
And it was so foul. It was nauseous to me. And so
Huh.
it took us 3.5, 9 weeks.
Did you have to? Was it during ball season?
Mm-mm.
That's good.
I don't
No.
remember what flood this was in 2019.
When the river
Historic.
swelled. The historic. Oh,
yes.
the river
Okay.
swelled.
Yeah. And it came up onto Cantrell in some
Yes.
places.
It washed
Mhm.
Cajun's Wharf.
Yes,
And,
yes,
many,
Mhm.
many homes
I do
along the
remember all
river
that.
were
Right.
gone.
Mm-hmm. Wild.
So there was a period of several weeks that we couldn't do anything until all the water receded. And I had the gifts the river brought us tested because our players sit on the ground
Oh, yeah.
and their hands go.
The gifts the river brought us.
Uh-huh.
What kind of gifts did you find on the baseball field?
It wasn't, you couldn't kill it with bleach. That's what I found.
Gross.
So
Gnarly.
we had to have it tested and find out what we used. And so we had to use a chemical that they sanitize operating rooms.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
So
wow.
had no idea what I was doing once again.
Wow.
And so we had Nab Holtz helped us out some. They had a couple people like there and everybody else was a volunteer. We have 3,500 volunteer hours logged in that 7-week period.
Mm-hmm.
And we started at 5:30 in the morning and I left at 9 o'clock at night. I would go home from 1 to 2 or 2:30.
And just clean. Just clean and clean and clean and clean.
So
and
the way
clean.
we did it, we started at the backstop and went to the scoreboard, made a line, and started. We'd have to go out and gather pallets because we
Mhm.
didn't have any. So every morning, everybody go gather as many pallets as they could, bring them back. The first week, the best day we had 300 clean. So we set up tents, got plastic tub, my favorite tub. You wash, rinse, sanitize.
Mhm.
300. I'm going, we're never going to get done.
Yeah.
So I took a date. Sunday, we took off, drove to Batesville. While I was driving, I was like, I need a dishwasher machine.
Mm.
So I
You could
called
run
Krebs.
the tiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we called Krebs. They had one. And I called Nab Holtz. I said, if I can get a commercial dishwasher, can you get it wired and ready?
Yeah.
And they're like, and water. And they're like, yeah. So Monday, one rolls out there. It was the greatest day.
And so one of those squares would fit in one of those dishwashers?
Oh, about 6. Because
Because they're little.
yeah,
Oh, they're small.
they're
Mhm.
this big.
Oh, so you can just stick them all in a dishwasher.
Yeah. And run them through. And then you have to sanitize the pallet that they came in on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Stack them up. And we stacked them the same way every time.
And sanitize the ground they were laying on.
And so then we'd roll them out. And we kept a tally of the number of tiles because I've always been told different numbers, you
Yeah.
know. There are 26,000 tiles on there.
Gee, Manee. That's a
Gross.
lot of dishwashing.
Yeah.
So also part of our field where the dirt is
Mhm.
painted. And they got started. I went, oh my God, you guys, stop. We got to put the painted tile back where it came from.
Sure. Make it all lay out the same way. Oh no.
So I have a piece of cardboard about this big and it is drawn. And we went with a Sharpie marker and numbered.
Numbered them all.
Oh, good
Good
Lord.
Lord help us to get right.
Yeah. What a feat.
So
That's nuts.
then a year later, 2020, COVID.
Mhm.
These type of kids love routine. Like when that friend
Mhm.
doesn't show up, that guy that you were just talking about, she was upset when her buddy didn't show
Mhm.
up. I mean, they love routine. What did COVID do to y'all?
So it was tough. We didn't play one season. Northwest
Oh, you didn't?
Arkansas won. We figured out a way because that was in the spring in our season.
That's right.
You know, and we just didn't know. It was also new to everybody. We didn't know
Mm-hmm.
how to react to it. But we did play fall season. In the spring, we did do a parade, a reverse parade. The kids drove through and we had like the mounted police and the fire truck. There's on the parking lot and stuff. And we made goodie bags and I made up a game and put it in their we got them all little sling bags. And so we had one of those things you get clothing off. So Keith, one of our
Yeah.
players, hook it, Mom. She'd hook a bag. He'd take that stick and stick it
so you don't have to touch anybody.
stick it in the window.
That's
I love
good.
that.
So
So you had a parade.
we had a parade.
And then you had to wipe all the balls and everything down, I bet.
oh yeah,
Every
We had a-
time they did anything when you did
touch.
come back.
Yep.
Mhm.
We
So
had a-
you have 2 seasons. You have a spring and a fall season
Correct.
every year.
Mhm.
It's good to know. I didn't realize you did all of that. Let's take another quick break, and then this will be our last. We'll come back for our last segment. We're going to continue our conversation with Miss Peggy McCall-Robertson, a woman with a wide heart, as you've heard, who founded the Miracle League of Arkansas, a baseball field for children with disabilities. We'll wrap it up in just a minute.
Flag season is here. Flagandbanner.com has everything you need to freshen up your home with a little red, white, and blue. Bunting is a great way to dress up the front of any house, porch, or fence line. Easily spruce up your yard with stick flags and garden banners, and our wide selection of decorative door hangers will make all your guests feel right at home. You can shop online or come see us in our historic showroom in downtown Little Rock, flagandbanner.com. We're the experts.
We're speaking today with Miss Peggy McCall-Robertson, the woman behind and out front of the Miracle League of Arkansas, a baseball field and league for children with disabilities. If you're just tuning in, go back. Listen. It's on YouTube. It's on
the radio. Oh,
the
no.
radio. No,
Anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Podcast and YouTube, so you can watch it. But we were talking about the strife of COVID, and then the strife of the flood, and then the strife of COVID. And you've worked through all of that. And then we've got, new ball fields in Springdale. But lately, you've been receiving a lot of publicity, but I guess because it's your 20th year. Do you have something special coming up?
No, we've got a fundraiser coming up that'll be a lot of fun.
That you do every year, or just
Yes.
once a year? So it's not really it's not really for your
20 year, no.
No, but it's just your annual fundraiser. So when is it and where is it?
Okay, so it's a Miracle League Burger Competition, and it is Sunday the 27th, and it's up in the Heights on Kavanaugh, and I'm really excited about it this year. We've got some amazing competitors coming. It's up the game. So World Food Championship, this is a qualifying event for World Food Championship. Someone will win a golden ticket to go to Indianapolis and compete on a world stage. There were 20 countries represented last year.
It's chefs?
Yes.
And so what restaurant is it doing, or is it out in the street?
It's out in the street.
So chefs are going to bring their grills or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
They're going to bring their food trucks.
No trucks. I give them asphalt on the street. They bring their tent, their grill, their tables, whatever they need to execute. It can be a home chef. It can be a chef. They've had Michelin star people compete in World Food. James Beard people compete at World Food. And so
the World Food is where if whoever wins today gets to go to World Food.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So we're a qualifying event for World Food in the burger category.
In the burger category.
So we are doing burgers across America this year, Sunday, April 27th on Kavanaugh in the Heights. And you get your ticket online. Go to miracleleaguear.com, hit up our Facebook, follow us, and you can get a $30 ticket and free beer. If you're not doing the beer, you get a $15 ticket.
How'd you get to do this? How did Miracle League land this fundraiser? This is a great fundraiser. I mean,
I just had an idea.
Oh my God. Here we go again. She's dreaming.
No, we were kicking around one night around a campfire and said, let's do something different for a fundraiser. And we're like, everybody loves a burger. Well, let's do a burger competition. And that just started rolling.
How many years have you done this?
This is our 4th.
Well, I'm coming to that too.
Yeah, you need to.
I'm following you around.
Yeah.
And how do people find out when to come out to the ballpark? So anybody can come out and watch, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So Gray and I are going to come. We're making a commitment to each other.
Uh-huh.
Hold us accountable.
Yeah.
So is it Friday nights, Saturday nights?
So we have five different leagues. So we
At
have
your field.
So what we've been talking about is what everybody knows, where all the buddies are involved. You play side by side, etc. Some of our kids have grown up. Some of our kids have a different skill set. So we started AA. That's the first time that they use an aluminum bat. They use a T-ball because it's got some weight. They start using a glove, and they learn more about the game, how to play the game.
Those are for the more advanced students.
Mm-hmm. And then we have AAA. So AA, AAA plays on Friday night. We keep score. I would have never dreamed. We are making double plays, and I am not joking. And
They're serious.
They are serious, and they've got skill, and
Cool.
They got game.
they do. And Darnell can catch something bounce or off balance in the air and get it to first, double play, like it's no big deal. like he's always done it.
What's his challenge?
Brain injury.
Oh, but he can catch.
He can do it all.
He can do it all.
He's an amazing musician.
Cool.
Really?
He writes lyric and song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have adults. So like Pathfinders and Easter Seals, those providers for adults, many of them work together and all of that. That's their home base. They play during the week, Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay.
So do we go on your website to find out who's playing and what level
Yeah.
it is and come out? If Gray and I are going to come out, which one should we come to?
Well,
I do love little kids.
You need to see, and some of our players on Saturday, they're 30, they're 40.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them could move to AA, but they like the buddies, and so they don't want to move.
So when's the buddy system?
Saturdays.
And it says it on your website. What's your website?
MiracleLeagueAR.com. But everybody should see Saturday and then catch a Ranger Yankee game.
What's that
on
mean?
Friday night, AAA.
See
the contrast. It's amazing.
Oh, okay.
Major.
What do you mean a Ranger? You mean
Ranger and Yankees.
You mean like a
Teams.
real game?
No, the teams. Their team name is the Rangers and the Yankees.
From your Miracle Field?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So come Saturday, watch the buddies, and then come when?
Friday.
And then come Friday and watch the ones that are more serious. Oh, that's
Check
great.
out.
That's
Yeah,
a
that sounds
great.
fun.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
So come Saturday to see where they begin, and then come Friday to see where they're going to end up if they want to.
Yeah, the Ranger Yankee game's the one to see because that's
Cool.
the AAA.
Okay. Neat.
So I read this article about you from Invite. You really have gotten a lot of publicity. I've just a lot of info about you on the internet. Inviting Arkansas opened this article, which is an apt proverb for you. It says, those who give generously receive more, will prosper and be refreshed. You're the youngest, whatever you are, 60-year-old, I guess, 70-year-old.
There you go.
You are.
Yeah, y'all are peers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those who give generously receive more will prosper and be refreshed. You said the volunteers get more out of it than anybody, and I think that's true. And I've heard you say, this is your quote, I'm the luckiest girl in the world for many reasons, and I mean lucky, that's all capital letters. And the Miracle League is one of the greatest components to that luck.
Yep.
Peggy, I have really, really, really enjoyed visiting with you. We have you a gift. Peggy, this is your gift because you're from Illinois. It's a desk set with the U.S. flag, the Arkansas flag, and your home and your birth home, Illinois.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And so, to our listeners, this show was recorded in the historical Taborian Hall in downtown Little Rock, Arkansas, and made possible by the good works of flagandbanner.com, Mr. Tom Wood, our audio engineer, Mr. Jonathan Hankins, our videographer, Miss Delora DeVore, production manager, and my co-host, Mr. Grady McCoy IV, a.k.a. Son Gray. To our listeners, we would like to thank you for spending time with us. We hope you've heard or learned something that's been inspiring or enlightening, and whatever it is, will help you up your business, your independence, or your life. I'm Kerry McCoy, and I'll see you next time on Up in Your Business. Until then, be brave and keep it up.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For more of Kerry's interviews, click on either video on the right of the screen. And as always, thank you for watching.